Imagine for a second that every move you're making is exactly what she wants. All those nights you lie awake, lost in thought, wondering what went wrong. The hesitation before sending that message, the way you keep replaying everything, it's all playing into her hands. She doesn't have to guess if you still care. She already knows, because she's the one who set the stage. Your frustration, your pain, your longing, they're just signs that she was right to walk away. And the more you show it, the more you're feeding her control. But what if you stopped right there? What if you took a step back and stopped giving her the power? What if you didn't break down? What if you didn't beg for closure? Imagine becoming the man who shows absolutely no sign of pain or desperation, the one who remains calm and unshaken. That's when the entire dynamic changes. That's when you take back the power. Because here's the truth. The moment you stop making her your priority and realize you are the one worth chasing, everything shifts. The mistake many men make is thinking that showing their love, proving their pain, or begging for her back will make her reconsider. But the reality is, the more you make her your everything, the less she'll value you. A woman doesn't regret leaving someone who begs and pleads. She regrets leaving someone who doesn't miss a beat, someone who replaces her effortlessly. And when she sees that you're no longer affected, when she realizes you've moved on and aren't waiting around, that's when the regret sets in. Why? Because women expect weakness. They expect emotional neediness. They expect you to crack under pressure. But when you do the exact opposite, when you show strength, poise, and complete indifference, that's what makes you stand out. You become someone she can't quite figure out, someone who's not fazed by her actions. So here's what you need to do. Stop seeking validation. Stop replaying the past. Stop hoping for closure or waiting for her to come back. Become the kind of man who isn't bothered by the things that would have once shaken you. Be the man who moves forward, not backward, and thrives in the face of emotional pressure. That's the kind of person who makes her regret everything. This is your moment. But before we dive in further, like this video, subscribe, and drop a comment saying, "I control my emotions, no one else." Let's break it down. Number 1, the pain of attachment, why she's testing you. You feel it, right? That knot in your stomach, the constant replaying of what went wrong, the confusion about why she walked away. You keep wondering, where did I fall short? Why did she lose interest? What made her think I wasn't worth staying for? But here's the uncomfortable truth. You weren't abandoned. You were put to the test, and you failed. She wanted to see how much control she had over you, how easily she could shake your foundation. She wanted to see if you'd lose yourself the moment she pulled away. Because, deep down, attraction is about more than love. It's about power. And the second you put her on a pedestal and made her the center of your universe, you lost all of your own. Attachment does something to a man. It clouds your judgment, makes you desperate, weak. It turns you into someone who pleads for her attention instead of walking away with dignity. Someone who needs constant reassurance instead of standing firm in their own worth. Think about it. Every time you check her texts, analyze her every word, or obsess over her social media, who's really in control? She is. She's in your head, dictating your every move, all without lifting a finger. The more attached you become, the more you give away your power, piece by piece. But here's where the game changes. She never expected you to wake up. She didn't expect you to realize that the pain you're feeling isn't because of her departure. It's because you handed her your emotional strength. And that ends right here. A true Stoic understands that suffering isn't caused by the events around us, but by how we choose to react to them. As Marcus Aurelius said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Recognize this truth, and you reclaim your strength. Your thoughts, your emotions, your actions. They belong to you, not to her, not to anyone. So when she tests you by pulling away, ignoring you, or making you feel insignificant, do the one thing that changes everything. Don't react. Detach completely. The moment you stop playing into her game, the moment you stop offering the validation she craves, is when she begins to question everything. You don't chase, you don't beg, you don't explain. You simply become the kind of man who never needed her validation in the first place. And that right there is the ultimate power move. Like this video, subscribe and drop a comment saying, "By mastering my mind, I master my life." Number 2, the power of indifference. You know what she's hoping for, right? She's waiting for something from you, a message, a call, maybe even a plea to fix things. Every second that goes by with no reaction from you, she grows more and more curious. She wonders why you haven't cracked yet, why you're not reaching out, why you seem unaffected. But let me tell you this, it's not just curiosity, it's confusion. The moment she realizes she no longer controls your emotions, everything changes. She wanted you to suffer, not out of malice, but because your pain was her validation. It proved that you cared, that you were invested, that you were important enough to break. But when she sees you unaffected, no anger, no sadness, no attempts to win her back, what does that tell her? That she was just another chapter in your story, and that terrifies her. She's no longer the center of your world, and the shift in power is palpable. This is the true power of indifference. When you stop reacting, when you stop caring, when you move through life in silence, you plant a seed of doubt in her mind. She starts asking herself questions. Did he ever really care about me? Did I make a mistake by walking away? Why isn't he chasing me like the others do? That's when she starts to pay attention, not because she misses you or loves you, but because she needs an answer. She needs to understand why you aren't broken like she expected. The mistake most men make is giving her the answer too easily. They expose their pain, wear their hurt on their sleeves, linger in her orbit hoping for some kind of closure. But a man who understands Stoicism, a man who practices true emotional control, knows better. He knows that power doesn't come from proving pain. It comes from showing indifference. A true Stoic accepts reality as it is, without resistance. Amor fati, whatever happens, happens. Whatever is lost, is lost. No regret, no resistance, just acceptance. Here's the kicker. When you embody indifference, it stops being a performance. It's no longer an act. You don't have to pretend to be unaffected. You simply are. And that's when she feels it. The emptiness you once felt, the void she left behind, is now hers to carry. The validation she once sought from you, she now craves from others. So, the next time you feel the urge to react, to explain yourself, to prove anything, don't. Be silent, be still, be indifferent, because in that silence, she will finally understand your true worth. Like this video, subscribe and comment below. My silence is my power. Number 3, the reverse effect. Ever noticed how the moment you stop caring, she starts chasing you? You've been told all your life that love means showing it, that if you want to keep a woman, you should prove your commitment, that if you lose her, you should fight for her to come back. But what if I told you all of that advice is wrong? What if I told you that the more you chase, the further away she runs, that the more you try to prove yourself, the less she'll value you, and that the second you stop caring, that's when she starts? This is the paradox of human behavior. We tend to crave what we can't have and take for granted what is easily accessible. When you made her your world, when you placed her above all else, when you gave her everything you had, she didn't feel appreciated, she felt bored. Why? Because there was no challenge, no mystery, no excitement. She knew exactly where she stood in your life, and that certainty made you predictable. And predictability? It kills attraction. Here's the truth. When you stop caring, you become scarce, and scarcity creates value. The moment you pull away, when you stop chasing, when you stop proving yourself, everything changes. Now, she's the one thinking about you. She's the one wondering why you're not reacting, why you're no longer chasing her. And that's when she feels what she didn't expect: doubt. Doubt makes her question everything. It makes her rethink her decisions. It makes her wonder if she underestimated you. As you step back into your own life, the more she starts to question her choices. Suddenly, she remembers your best moments together. She starts missing your presence. She starts craving what she once took for granted. This isn't manipulation. This is basic human psychology. The law of scarcity is simple. What's always available is never truly valued. What's distant, what's uncertain, what's just slightly out of reach, that's what pulls people in. The more you internalize this concept, the more powerful you become. So stop chasing. Stop trying to prove your worth. Your value isn't something you need to show her. It's something she realizes when it's too late. Walk away, focus on your own growth, and let her experience the void you've left. And when she starts chasing you, that's when you'll know you were always the prize. Like this video, subscribe, and comment below. I am the prize. I am the power. Number 4. The silent power move. What if the most powerful thing you could do is disappear without a single word? She expects you to react. She expects you to reach out, ask questions, beg for answers, or try to seek closure. She expects to stay in your thoughts, to still have control over your emotions. But what if you do the one thing she never anticipated? You vanish completely, without a sound. No explanation, no dramatic farewell, no final message to get closure. Just silence. And trust me, that silence will speak louder than anything you could ever say. When you give her nothing, when you completely remove yourself, you create a void that will haunt her long after the last conversation. This emptiness will linger in her mind far longer than any words could. The problem is, most men fail at this because their egos scream for validation. They want her to see that they're moving on. They want her to notice how happy they are, so they post on social media, subtly try to make her jealous, or paint an image of a perfect life. But all of that is still reacting. It's still seeking her attention, still caring about her perception. And if you care what she thinks, then you're still letting her control you. A true Stoic doesn't react. A true Stoic doesn't need validation. A true Stoic simply walks away. No hesitation, no explanation, no need for recognition, because he knows that his silence is his greatest strength. This silence forces her to fill in the gaps. It forces her to sit with her thoughts and wonder, what's he thinking? What's he doing? Why isn't he reaching out? The more she wonders, the more she starts to miss you. And here's why. Uncertainty fuels attraction. When she has no access to your emotions, when she has no idea where you stand, her mind begins to create stories. She starts imagining you as more confident, more independent, more desirable. And that leads her to question, did I make a mistake? That's the power of the silent move. It's not about revenge. It's not about making her suffer. It's about breaking free. It's about proving to yourself that you don't need her to feel whole, that you are the one in control of your emotions, that you are a man of strength and discipline, not desperation. So stop explaining. Stop checking in. Stop leaving the door open for her return. Become the man who disappears without a word. Because once you do, she will feel your absence more deeply than she ever felt your presence. Like this video, subscribe, and comment below. I walk away with dignity. Number 5. The comeback rebuild in silence. Right now you have two paths ahead. You can stay stuck in your pain, replay the past and let this situation define you, or you can choose to use that pain as fuel. The truth is, she's not coming back because you're hurting. She's not going to regret leaving simply because you want her to. She'll only regret it when she sees that you've become something far better without her. This is where most men go wrong. They think getting back at her means proving their worth. They think the key to success is making her jealous, but that's still making it about her. A true Stoic rebuilds, not for anyone else's approval, not for recognition, not for revenge, but for himself. Self-improvement is the only real path to true power. So here's what you do. You disappear into your own world. You pour time into your growth, physically, mentally, and financially. Hit the gym, not to show her you're stronger, but to craft the best version of yourself. Develop your mind, sharpen your skills, strengthen your discipline, not to impress her, but because mastering yourself is the ultimate form of freedom. Level up so intensely that the man she left behind is a stranger. And what happens when you do this? She won't notice at first. She'll think you're still stuck, still suffering. But as time goes on, she'll hear about your progress. She'll see the changes in you. That's when the regret starts to creep in, because now you're not the man she rejected. You've transformed. You've become someone she can no longer have, and that's when she'll truly feel the loss. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be one." Stop waiting for her validation. Stop obsessing over what she's doing or who she's with. None of that matters. The only thing that matters is you, your growth, your journey, your transformation. Because when you rebuild in silence, when you rise in the shadows, you don't just win, you become untouchable. And by the time she realizes it, it will already be too late. Like this video, subscribe, and comment below. I rebuild in silence, I rise in power. Number 6, the psychological reversal. Watch her start to regret it. She thought she had you all figured out. She believed that walking away would leave you just like the others, desperate, emotional, begging for her to return. But something changed. You didn't chase. You didn't plead. You didn't show a trace of weakness. Instead, you disappeared. You turned inward, focusing on your growth, and you became someone she never expected, a man she can't control. And that's when the regret begins. At first, she won't even admit it, not to herself. She'll convince herself that she made the right choice. She'll go out, distract herself, put on a mask of indifference. But when the noise fades, when she's alone with her thoughts late at night, scrolling through her phone, she'll check to see if you've reached out. And when she sees nothing, a strange sensation will creep in. Doubt. Doubt is dangerous. It messes with her mind. She convinced herself she didn't need you, that she wouldn't miss you. But now, with no contact from you, her brain starts to rewrite history. She begins to remember the good times, the moments she overlooked. She'll start to question herself. Did I make the right call? What if I lost something great? And the worst part for her, she realizes she no longer has access to you. This is cognitive dissonance in action. The mind hates uncertainty. It craves control, clarity, certainty. But for the first time, she's the one who feels unsure. And that uncertainty breeds emotional turmoil. Now she starts to wonder, what if I was wrong? What if he was actually the best I had? What if, in trying to test him, I ended up losing him forever? That's where the real power lies. Not in proving yourself to her, not in trying to make her jealous, but in living in a way that makes her regret ever doubting your value. When you cut her off completely, when you focus on your own evolution, when you become something she never anticipated, She will feel the weight of her decision. She won't regret losing the man she left behind. She will regret losing the man you've become. But by that time, it won't matter. Because by the time she realizes what she had, you'll be gone from the past and focused only on your future. Like this video, subscribe and comment below. I let go and I win. Number 7. The inevitable return. Why she comes back. You were supposed to break. You were supposed to chase her down, to prove you couldn't live without her, to beg for just one more chance. But instead, you did something that left her completely off guard. You disappeared. You leveled up. You became so unbothered, so completely indifferent, that now, whether she wants to admit it or not, she feels it. The emptiness, the absence, the power shift. And that, my friend, is why, sooner or later, she will come back. At first, it will be small, an innocent text, a like on your post, a casual, "How have you been?" message out of the blue. But don't be fooled. This isn't random, it's calculated. She wants to test the waters. She's wondering if you're still there, if you're still under her spell, if you still care about her. The moment you give her even the smallest hint of the old you, the version of you that was desperate, that was attached, she wins. But that's not you anymore. You've changed. You don't chase. You don't react. You stay calm, collected, and most importantly, detached. Because now you know the truth. She's not coming back because she loves you. She's coming back because she lost control. She felt your absence. She felt the void you left. And now she wants to see if she can get you back under her control. This is the push-pull dynamic at play. When you pull away, she's forced to chase. It's human nature. People desire what they can't have. The second she realizes you're not desperate, that you're not sitting by the phone waiting for her, her mind begins to romanticize what she left behind. She forgets the reasons she walked away and begins to remember only the best moments with you. And the more you distance yourself, the more attractive you become. But here's the trap. When she comes back, many men see it as a win. They think it means she's finally seen their worth, so they rush to let her back in. And that's when they lose all their power again. If she left you once, she will always have that thought in the back of her mind. Can he be broken again? Is he truly strong, or was it just a phase? That's why when she comes back, you don't celebrate. You don't jump at the opportunity to take her back. You stay indifferent. You watch, you analyze, and you decide whether she even deserves a place in your life again. Now, you hold the power. Now, you make the choices, and that realization right there will drive her crazy. Like this video, subscribe and comment below. I move forward, never backward. Number 8. The choice. Do you let her back? So, here she is, the woman who walked away, who doubted your worth, who thought she could find someone better, and now she's back. She's showing interest, reaching out, and suddenly she's nostalgic, curious, trying to find a way back into your life. But the real question here isn't about her, it's about you. Do you let her back in? Many men would jump at the chance. They'd see this as their moment to finally prove their worth, to win her back. But that's exactly where they go wrong, because this isn't about winning her, it's about winning yourself. The real challenge here isn't whether she comes back. The challenge is whether you have the strength to say no. Let's break this down. She didn't return because she loves you. She returned because she feels regret, because she feels doubt, because she lost control over you. She sees you've changed, you've grown, you've become someone stronger than she ever imagined. Now, she wants to be part of that life again. But ask yourself, where was this energy when you were giving everything? Where was the concern when you were hurting, when you were vulnerable? Where was her loyalty when you were all in? It wasn't there because she didn't respect you then, and if you let her back in without boundaries, she won't respect you now. A true Stoic man doesn't act out of fleeting emotion. He doesn't let nostalgia cloud his judgment. He doesn't let temporary regret change how he sees the past. He sees things for what they truly are. She walked away once, and deep down, she will always know she can do it again. So, what do? You choose yourself. You don't go back to what broke you. You don't entertain someone who tested your value by leaving. Because now, you are no longer the same man. You're a man with standards. You're a man with self-respect. And most importantly, you're a man who understands that if she truly valued you, she never would have walked away in the first place. So, when she reaches out, when she tries to rekindle the connection, when she acts as if she suddenly sees your worth, don't give in. You stay strong, you stay disciplined, you stay detached. You are no longer the man who needed her. Now, you're the man she lost. Like this video, subscribe and comment below. I choose me, always. Number 9, the final lesson, the Stoic's path to power. And here we are at the end of this journey. All the pain, confusion, heartbreak, it's led you to this moment. The moment when you finally realize that none of this was ever truly about her. It was always about you, about your growth, your discipline, your ability to control your emotions instead of letting them control you. Because the truth is, she wasn't the loss, you were. She didn't walk away from a relationship. She walked away from a man who was about to evolve into something greater. And by the time she realizes it, it's already too late. Not because you're playing games or trying to teach her a lesson, but because you've already moved on to something far better, yourself. A true Stoic does not dwell in the past. He does not chase. He does not beg. He does not seek validation. He simply accepts what is, adapts to it, and grows stronger. Marcus Aurelius once said, "It is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live." And that's exactly what you've done. You've stopped living in the past. You've stopped waiting for closure. You've stopped hoping for someone to come back and fix what was broken. Instead, you've rebuilt yourself from the ground up, and now you're untouchable. The man who once sought approval now seeks purpose. The man who once reacted emotionally now moves with discipline. The man who once waited for her to return now walks a path she can never follow. And that's the real power. Not revenge, not jealousy, not games, just growth, just transformation. So let this be your final lesson. You don't win by making her regret leaving you. You don't win by proving your worth. You win by becoming the man who never needed her in the first place. Like this video, subscribe and comment below. I am in control. I am unstoppable. You've made it this far, and that tells me one thing. You're ready to leave behind the weakness, the doubt, the attachment, ready to embrace the mindset of a true Stoic, ready to become the kind of man who does not break, who does not chase, who does not beg. A man who understands that power is not something to be taken. It is cultivated through discipline, detachment, and self-mastery. This is just the beginning. The pain you felt was necessary. It woke you up. It forced you to see the truth, that your emotions were being used against you, that your attachment was making you weak, that you were giving away your power without even realizing it. But not anymore. From this moment forward, you move differently. You think differently. You live differently. You never seek validation. You create your own. You never react. You observe and decide. You never chase. You attract. Because now you understand the highest truth. You are the prize. So take what you've learned here and apply it, not just in your relationships, but in every aspect of your life, your business, your fitness, your mindset, your future. Because the man who controls himself controls everything. And if she ever realizes what she lost,